Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewelry come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean? Jump and shout all over the nation. We're breaking out with a new creation.
Javier Canul is a man of many talents. He recently sat down with our Belize Watch team to share his life journey. We will have that conversation after we hear from our partners, Shell Belize, Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, the Barry, and the National Gas Company.
Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
I remember the days when trucks used to line up at the Guatemala border, and we could have only watch as they come in loaded with LPG and then left with we Belizean dollars. Things changed since, because the Belizeans they drive now, that we have the jobs, and are definitely proud to be able to keep me dollars home. Either Elvis Roaches, and either one of the Belizean drivers for the National Gas Company. I haul butane from the new state-of-the-art terminal at the port of Big Creek. The hard work, but at the end of the day, I go home to my family and provide for them. Thanks to NGC, I did do my lead part to build my country. We the all Belizeans on this team, and we're proud to work hard to deliver one product will last longer and give you more value for money. I proud to work at NGC, and for you we Belizean people.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
It don't matter what part of the jewelry.
And welcome to another edition of Belize Watch. And on today's show, we'll be featuring a very popular figure around Belize City, and I think throughout the entire country. Everybody knows him as Ozzy the Clown. Everywhere you go, downtown and wherever you things are happening, and wherever at the center of the entertainment industry, you find Ozzy the Clown, the number 1 clown in Belize.
The number 1
right?
clown.
Really? If I may say so. Aren't you the number 1 clown, Ozzy?
Well, that's what people say, but I think they have other clones, but we will have that thing.
But we are for right now we are calling an outstanding clown.
An outstanding clown.
That's a difference.
You could live with that one,
I can
right?
live with that, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we
I
call
appreciate
Ozzy an outstanding clown.
Thank you, sir.
A Belizean clown.
That's right.
Right? But
Yes.
Ozzy is not really, there's much more to Ozzy than Ozzy the clown. Right? And because I know Ozzy, and I know that there's a lot Ozzy has done for this country, there's a lot he has done for his family, and there's a lot he has done for a whole lot of people. And so we're going to find out tonight. And with me, of course, is my granddaughter,
Yes.
Kylie. And people might say, well, which one are your grandchildren, Renee? Well, let me tell you, I have 4 children and 13 grandchildren, Ozzy.
Wow.
Right? Kylie would be my youngest daughter, oldest daughter. That makes sense? The oldest daughter of my youngest daughter, Janelle. So that's Kylie, right? And so Kylie, good having you on the show. It's good to be introducing a granddaughter on Belize Watch, and I'm happy that you're here with me, and we're going to talk to Ozzy,
The clown.
the clown. So, anything you want to say in introducing Ozzy?
Well, I am very interested in seeing what you have to say and what we will be discussing today, and I am very excited.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's get to know Javier Canul Sr. And I guess the direct question to Javier would be, who is Javier Canul Sr.?
Exactly, yes.
Let's start from the very beginning, from when the baby born.
Oh, okay.
And what part?
Yeah.
All right, Javier Canul Sr. I was born in Belize City at the, according to my mother, the old Belize City Hospital, right? I was born in 1966. I am the third of 6 kids. I'm the second boy, youngest of 2 boys. I live all my life in Belize City. Attended St. Joseph School. Then you know, go to preschool, right?
Yeah.
And then from St. Joseph School, I went to, I still consider, for me, still a #1 college, Wesley College.
Wesley College.
Yeah, and I loved that college because it was boy and girl school. All right, and then from there, well, I left Wesley College and joined the Belize Defense Force. Spent 6 years in the Belize Defense Force. I was at a rank of a corporal. And I moved on from there. I left the Belize Defense Force, and I came out without a plan, basically, and started to apply for jobs at that point, and found out that I was going through some difficult times because at that point I had a family. I had a wife and I had my sons growing up. And at this point I decided that I need to go to the US to get a job. Streets of gold. Yeah, that's what it was. That was I was told. There was a lot of job there by Koya.
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
And I never made it to the States because I went directly to Mexico City, missed the bus when I carried me to the border. And so I had like a layover maybe 6 to 8 hours before I catch the next bus. And I drifted in. I'm a very adventurous person. I don't left the military, so I had that adventurousness about me, and I ended up straight about in a Central Park. And that's where I saw a clown, which fascinated me from the time I'm a little kid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So from your
Yes,
young
from
boy,
little I was fascinated because at home my
how old
parents.
were you when you felt that you wanted to be a clown?
Oh, I didn't felt that I wanted to be a clown until I met the
Till you
clown.
met the clown.
And I knew that,
Okay.
yeah. And I knew that this was a chance for survival. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? Nothing like this will happen in Belize. I need to do this. There's a way here to make money where I could stay in Belize. I don't have to go to States. And that's when I took up that role.
Okay.
But before that, my ambition as a young child, I've always wanted to be a movie star.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I've always wanted to be a movie star. And it never happened that way. As I left high school, I joined BDF to try to get a scholarship to see if I could become a medical officer or a doctor.
That's what I want to go back.
Yeah, it's a very complicated story,
Yes.
but we could take it anywhere you want.
Let's
when
go
you
back
get
to
there.
let's go to the beginning, right? Let's go to St. Joseph. You say was
Okay,
the
yes,
first
St.
place
Joseph
that you,
School,
that you went. What are some of the memories you have going to St. Joseph School? What was it like for you? at
Well,
the time?
I had at St. Joseph School, I had some very fun memories because my entire family gone to that school. My grandma lived right down the street on Kelly Street. All my uncles used to go to school. So when I mean like infant two, my uncle lay in standard 6. And I remember as a young child, my uncle they used to do in the days a fitness. You know, got TV, you know, got
yes,
nothing.
PT.
So then guys used to do like push-ups. How much push-ups you could do, and then they even put you up on your back. For so much push-ups you could do with somebody on your back. So then I made some fun memories. And then I remember some of the teachers, Miss Lopez, Mr. Nicholas, Mr. Sosa. You know my uncle, but I have to remember him. Then the names of people used to call back in my time.
Yeah.
Mr. Saldiva. All right. And my days at Wesley College were fun. I remember my classmates, Alan Adderley, Annette, a whole crew of people. But in those days, the idea was to be a sportsman.
But what was the most exciting memory you might have of Western College?
No, that's not a big story.
You know why I ask you?
Yes.
Because I also attended Western College.
Really?
And so I have my memories of Western College.
Okay, well, I don't
as
know.
well. I did 2 years and changed at Western College. Let me hear what
so-
you have to say about Western College.
When I was offered a chance to go to a high school, my uncle got Western College. He was of Hispanic descent, Ricardo Sosa. And he passed away in a traffic accident, a very young person. And at that time, I wanted to be like him. But in a day and days, like I tell you, he was very athletic. Because he started at Fancy and Joseph School. Athletic used to run marathon with Eugene Mushla and a couple of the guys from way back. And I wanted to be like him. And it was a boy and girl school. And so I decided I wanted to go to Wesley College. And that's how I got to Wesley College. Memories, some of the sweetest ones, without being disrespectful or without being, race issue. I loved it because I'm the only Hispanic person going there at that time. All around me all of my colleagues were colored folks. And I was always being put to test, always challenged. You can't beat me, boy. You're a Spanish, you're a Spaniard, so to speak. And I never get offended. What that did to me was to raise my bar. So that, if I could talk about it, that's the way it did to me. Raise my bar to compete with some of the best guys like Gilroy Nemhard, and I could remember a couple of the other guys' name. Who used to always challenge me, Alvin Henderson and them guys. And that's what Western College did for me. It raised my bar to challenge me. You know, so that was some good
I
days.
definitely have some fun memories of Western College, and of course we always hold Western College close because I don't know if you know this, Ozzy, but one of my grandfather, Reverend James A.C. Elliott, was one of the first principals of Western College.
Yes, I
right?
remember.
So he, in fact, the first, right? I think it was Western Boys School at the time when he was a principal there. Right, that's before he was sent to Honduras. But anyway, let's get back to you. I just thought I enjoyed that connection that you had with Western College. You know that you actually attended Western College. Right.
So like I said,
after Western College, you got a
bar.
BDF, right?
Yeah, I joined BDF because at that time I'm the third child of a family of 6, and my parents were struggling, and I had to find a way to move on in my life. And I wanted to be a medical officer. And at that point, I wanted to be a medical officer. And I said that if I joined the Belize Defense Force, there would probably be scholarship opportunities. That's how I looked at it. Back in the days, TV would just come out and say, join the Marines, be what you can be, and I show you.
Yes.
So I thought it was the same in the BDS. So when I joined, yes.
You mentioned like doing athletics and stuff since St. Joseph. So would you say that the athleticness also impacted your Belize Force joining?
Well, yeah, I think I met all the criteria because one part of the criteria for joining the Belize Defense Force, you have to run, you have to do so much push-ups, you have to do, and it was very challenging. And plus, they give you one test where you have to pass. Okay. So for me, going to Western College, I breezed through all of the things. I met all the challenges.
So that helped you along with your... Okay.
And then when I joined, with that criteria, I entered the Belize Defense Force, like I said, to try to see if I could get a scholarship. My aim was to get to the medical center and try to get a scholarship to go out to study to be a medical officer. It never did happen. It never happened.
But what made you, or when did you realize that you wanted to take that avenue for your life, that of a medical officer?
It was at that point. It was just like...
How old were you?
I was 18 years old. I graduated from high school at 18 years old. I took biology at school, and it was something. And the biology phase, I guess that was it. But I never had any career to say like, oh, when I small, I want to be a medical officer. No. Okay. I've always wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a TV star, big time movie like John Wayne and. Yeah, and then guys, no? Well, I might look like Steven Seagal, but I know Steven Seagal.
You still have time to do a movie? Do a movie, right, Kylie?
Yes.
Yeah. So I joined the Belize Defense Force. And
you mentioned movies. What type of movies, if any, that you did or participated in?
Wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just wanted to be a star. I never wanted to, like, say, be a particular action star. I just wanted to be a star.
Star. Okay. Okay.
And I was hoping not to be a monster, but I wanted to be a star. And that was it, you know. And yeah.
Okay, so we're not where you did not become that medical officer by training, right? But you still end up working in the medical field, for you know. But before we go there, Javier, let's just look at your time in the BDF, right? Some of your experiences and what have you.
I can tell you that when I left Wesley College, I left a whole family behind because those guys were my friends. My neighbors were my friends. And I got into a brand new world. And so I made a connection at that point. They became my family. So all my friends who I had out there, because even in a BDF, you don't got time for nobody.
Yeah.
Every minute you're about a patrol, every minute you do this, every minute you do that. And I had fun time here at the BDF. I met a whole new family, and I was a very ambitious person. I have to tell you, like I said, challenges that I met at Wesley College, and people used to challenge me all the time. So when I joined the Belize Defense Force, I watched the Lance Corporal, and I watched different people in the force, and I say, I want to be that. I want to do that. And I rose to the challenge, got my first stripe in the first 3 years of my career in a BDF. And I was contemplating whether I should go on or not because it took away a lot from my family. At that time, I was married. I got married at that time, had a young son, and I was contemplating whether I should continue. And talking advice from the other guys, they said, man, it's up to you. We can't tell you what to do. And then I said, but if I left, I don't got no plan, I don't got nothing. So I signed another 3 years. I did the BDF for 3 years.
Yeah.
So you did 6 years in the BDF?
Yes. And like I said, I challenged myself hard. So the next, I became a Lance Corporal, and after 1 year being a regular soldier, I was drafted back. Oh, I came out as champion recruit, but not champion recruit, champion field craft.
Okay.
Champion field craft means...
What does that mean?
It means that you're living in the jungle and you could survive.
Okay.
All right? Using what is around you. So I came out as one of the top 4 people, and I came out as, there was champion recruit, champion shot, champion field craft, and champion PT, physical training.
Okay.
And
So
I
if I'm
came
lost in the jungle, what do I do? Is it
If what?
For become the champion field shot, what do I do? If I'm
field,
lost
well, I
in-
can't tell you about the field shot, but I could tell you about champion field craft.
Field craft, sorry.
Field craft,
Okay, well, first of all, the first thing you want to do is build a shelter.
How you build a
Yeah,
shelter?
how you
Well,
build-
you get your machete, and you chop your sticks, then you build a simple thing we call a lean-to.
Okay.
You find
Like
a tree,
angle,
and you build it from an angle like this.
Angle,
You get several sticks. The wide trees would be better. We don't really use like cohoon leaf trees because then they got wide angles. So you put that down and you put it, make it lean off of the tree. So you have something like this. And then
Okay.
you would be underneath. So if it rain, you run off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way they call a lean-to. So that's the first thing you want. Because you don't want to get wet.
One lean too.
And you need
A
protection. So the
lean-to.
next thing after you build that, you need a fire.
Yes.
Because fire keep away anything in the night.
Okay. But I hear you knock 2 rocks together and fire come. I don't know if that's so, but you tell me if that's so.
Well, actually, I've never tried that phase, but the phase that I tried was to find the driest bark you could find. And you have to scrape it off the same cohoon tree.
Yeah.
The cohoon tree give you a lot of survival, kind of you could eat off of that. You could build a lean-to, you could make use the leaves to build a house. You could scrape the inner part and you get the dry part, and it's easy to start fire. All right? So you get that, and then you have your stick, you push it down, you get one same cohoon thing, and you make one hole in it, push it down inside, you tie one string on it, you just, and as you see least spark, put the driest part of the things right on it, and you just, and eventually once a spark catch, you have to nurse that. You get down and just,
Yeah, but blow it.
but you not blow, you
Okay.
like, you know what, can you blow it out?
Yeah, blow it out.
Yeah.
And you nourish it till it become big, and then you start to put woods, and that's how you get
So
fire.
you get a lean to and then you have a fire.
Fire.
Yes.
What next now?
No, you need to get one. You got your machete, but the night time you can't see
See,
nothing.
yeah.
So you need a long stick with a point.
Uh-huh.
Not have to juke anything when you try
Tomato.
come out of your so.
Okay.
All right, and then you have to find a source of water. But at that point, they teach you about the water titties and then kind of thing. So you know, part of your source, you have to find a source of water, and you never build your lean-to far away from your source of water. Then thing they work together.
Okay.
Because you need water. If you don't need fire, you don't need one lean-to, but you need water.
You need water.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
And do you have to dig for water sometimes? Or?
You can, but they teach you how to use the jungle, how to use the titais and that kind of thing.
Okay.
How to be able to identify it.
So
You know?
what do you bring along your journey when you're there in the jungle?
What you bring, they give you a machete.
Oh, that's it.
You got to a machete, you have a bottle of water to start out with,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
after that, and then you have tasks where you have to accomplish.
Okay.
You know, they tell you, okay, we want you to build a lee house or build a bench. So when we come meet you again, we could sit down.
Okay.
So that's your task.
Okay, so you don't bring no food or no big
No.
bag?
You have to recognize different things. They like the cocoon tree. Again, the cocoon tree, source a meal. Cut that down and we'll get from the middle.
Cocoon bark.
Cocoon bark. So
Okay.
that's source, you know, and then you got cocoon boy. Whether wrong na Belize and the jungle Belize, you find that common. So that thing they exist.
Cocoon
All
nut.
right, you take one thing I never learn, and where I learn later is that when fly bite you take your lick. But now as I learn that as you grow older, you have like, you find the jackass bitters leaf, you chew it, and then when you sweat, they come out through your pores, that
They
bitter,
fly
so
down
they
like
fly
that.
and not stick wrong you. Or you chew it, and if you can't, you just rub the sap on you and kind of thing. Or you use mud. A lot of people use mud. I learned that from Naked and Afraid. Yeah.
Yeah. So BDF now. After you left the BDF, you said you
I never
definitely-
had no never make no success for Ghana the medical center. There was never an opportunity because but I don't know why, but there was never an opportunity. I did attend a medical how you call it? A combat medic program. But that was as far as I got because every company needed to have a medic. So and in the BDF you learn about combat medic. Meaning you're under fire and you still have to take care of people. All right? And if you get shot yourself, you have to be able to stop that bleeding, put on your tourniquets, put on your bandages, do what you have to do, grab back your gun and continue to shoot. So you learn all anything. So that was combat medic. So I learned that. And then I said, man, I know to get where I want. And I'm upset. Without a plan, I stepped out.
You didn't have any ambition to really become an officer or going beyond the
I did
couple
attend an officer cadet program.
Okay.
I did attend that course, but in my opinion, this is only my opinion, and people in BDF are probably vexing me for this, but in my opinion, I believe you have candidates already chosen, but they just many competitors to see how well these candidates will make it. That's my opinion, and I was one of the competitors and another candidate, and I'm upset about that. But I mean, you can't get vexed with the system. That's the way, my opinion, how it's set up, no?
Okay.
Yeah, and then plus then guys, they have like 6 farm degree, but I don't have that. But I know I had to climb up in the ranks and I had to do a good job, no? Yeah.
And so after you left the BDF, how was the family doing at that time?
Well, I had a second mouth to feed. There was 3 mouths now, plus myself, there was 4. My second son, who is also a medical officer.
Okay.
No food, so I had to look for job. And I never used to joke, Mr. Rene. I never play. I find ways to make money. I used to make clips. I don't know, some people might remember that I used to make clips. So I leave clips and then you put your name on it and you put it in your hair out of leather. I used to make the clips. I don't know if I could find a picture of any of those things, but I used to go to schools and sell them things to teachers.
Where you used to get the leather from?
I used to import from Chitomal.
Okay.
And cut the leather. I give one lady, I tell the lady, for everyone that I think you cut out in this shape, you get 50 cents. So I made a create one industry. So she have a job for do, and when she done, it come to me, I put on the names there, stamp it out, because you had some special stencil. Stamp it out, pin it down, put on the pin on it, glue it up, and I sell it $8 a piece, and I used to go like hot Johnny Cake.
$8 a piece. About how much would you sell per day, roughly?
It depends. It depends on how I market
Average.
myself. And depends on, like for example, I had to go down to school, and then by the time I left, and all the teachers didn't buy.
Okay.
All the teachers put in the order, and then I carry it back, and I was school that I have about 24 teachers, so 24 times 8.
So you are also an entrepreneur.
From I know myself, my father taught me a lot of good things. I could tell you that, and I have a backtrack a little bit too, because I will say this. When I got to Wesley College, there were things that were floating around in that area. The area, where Wesley College at Yarborough. My pa never had a vehicle. I had to walk from Wesley College to Kings Park, where I live. Hang out with crews and guys, and I started to smoke marijuana.
Yeah.
I I know I could tell you how cocaine, or I still have a vague memory of cocaine. At the time, cocaine, they're like $75 for a line. I could tell you anything because I've been there. And I find myself to get dragged out in that position there when I left school. But then I joined the Belize Defense Force, and that pulled me right out of it. And make I realize where my dreams and ambitions were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I want to say that is important. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're at high school, you get sidetracked
get tested,
very easily.
you get tested a lot.
Very easily by your peers and what have you. But it's good that you had something that pulled you out of that.
And that's one of the reasons why I joined the Belize Defense Force. So I see it as a disciplinary way to move forward, no, and to get myself away from that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, entrepreneurship is very important because you did that entrepreneurial adventure by making the clips
Yes.
and what have you. What would you say to a young Belizean today who might deep down say, I want to try something, but I don't know how you work and that kind of thing. What would you tell a young Belizean about entrepreneurship?
I would like to tell them, and I wish we'd have more entrepreneurs. In a Belize, you could do anything you want, because we're a young nation where they grow. There's so many things out there where we could do with our hands.
Yeah.
You know, you could take a cup like this, and you could make origami out of it.
Yeah.
All right? You could take an aluminum tin can and cut it out into shapes. You dry it, and then you cut it out, and it look outstanding. You can make rose and flowers and anything you want to do out of it. I watch, if you go to any other country, like when I recently made it all over Central America with the volleyball team as a manager for them, or as not a manager, as a COVID official for them.
Yeah.
And I watched the garbage dump, Mr. Renee. Everybody there, the garbage dump. You know what they take out for there?
What?
Anything what they could use. You see, we throw away the Coke can, or we throw away the lead juice can. Nobody throw away that. They get that and they use that. And they make art out of it. Some people just mash it up and sell it. You have to find a way to make an income. You don't need to work for nobody. You don't have to go under anybody go, you want a job, I want a job, you want a job. You don't need that. So my thing is that if you have a dream, you can follow your dream.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, right?
That's where you have to have a dream.
You have to get a dream.
In my own way, survival was my way. I had to cater for my family. And I had to find a way to make money.
And it all starts with that dream inside you.
That's right.
Well, I am going to SJCJC and I am taking entrepreneurship.
Right now? Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes. So this is a very interesting thing, and I enjoyed that little snippet that you just
Yes,
mentioned.
and you learn as you go by. If you make a mistake, you find one next thing to do. There's always ways to step on it. You can't hang behind and depend on people.
Yeah, my mom made these earrings that I'm wearing, so we're trying a jewelry
And
thing
this is
right
exactly
now.
what I tell you. I know if I do anything there from way back, but that never something where I really push into. I wanted, like I said, I want to be something by the world stage.
Exactly.
I want to be one movie star.
Yes.
That's my goal. So then the lead thing there, I do it just but to help my way till I can push on, you know.
Yeah, as a means to
That's right. To get where I want. But I can do those. Not as nice as they are, but in my own way, you know. Yeah. Then it takes a lot of work and dedication.
Yes, it does.
And what I wanted was to make money fast.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing, that is.
Yes. Doing the right. Very important that you said
Doing the right
Yes,
thing.
doing the right thing.
And because money will come doing the wrong thing, usually go the wrong way too.
Yeah.
Cause it to go the wrong way.
Yep.
Yes.
So as an entrepreneur, you know that, and you might not succeed at the first try, right?
Well, I will tell you that luckily for me, I did well.
Well, you're an exception because
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
did
entrepreneurs
really well.
will tell you that they fall down, but they get up again.
Yes.
They fall, they get up again till you hit it.
Hit it, yeah.
You know what? Why I stopped doing those clips? I stopped doing those clips because I started doing clowning,
Okay.
and different avenues started opening up for me.
Okay.
All right, and I said, I don't need this no more. I could move on to something else, but I have it behind me.
But even the clown,
That if I need it, I could go to it.
but even
Yeah.
being the clown is an entrepreneurial skill.
Yeah.
Right? Because you being a clown, you're an entrepreneur, you're making a living off it.
Entrepreneurship is very important for the young people of this country. If all of we can do the same thing,
Yep.
all of we could be a boss, but in our own aspect. So I want to encourage anybody, once you have that dream, follow your dream is important.
Very important to follow your
dream,
dreams. And that message cannot be overemphasized.
That's right.
Yes.
follow your dream, because your dreams come from within you.
That's right.
And what you bring out from within you is what defines you. So,
Mm-hmm.
you follow your dream and don't give up if it doesn't happen at the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to keep going at it. Now, you said now that when you decided to become a clown,
Mm-hmm.
or to go into clowning, if I could probably use that terminology.
Yeah, clowning. Yeah,
right?
clowning. Yeah, that's
Was
it.
when you went you got started in Mexico City,
That's right.
and you had to find a way to survive.
That's right.
Now, take us through that experience.
Okay, so basically, gone at the park, look at the clown. I'm fascinated by the clowns, and they were doing their own show, and I like, wow, how them guys create damn thing, yeah? Doing shows, and after that, people line up for buy a balloon, and I'm like, wow. So when everything settled down, I got on a clown, and I say, I talked to him, sir, you could teach me how to do a balloon? The man said, yes, 25 peso. I'm like, what? 25 peso at that time, that me 10 peso, that me 10 peso, that me $10.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So 25 peso at about $25.
Belize, you're talking
Belize,
about
Belize dollars. And I'm like, what? I tell the man, man, I don't got that money there. I got that money there, but I want to learn, but I need it for, for my traveling. The man said, all right. And the man turned around and threw a balloon for me, the long one. I should bring a couple of them. Anyway, threw a balloon for me, said, blow that. But he never know that my uncle used to own a shop right there, Nachos. Sosa right there, Kana Kelly and Mitchell Rebel Street.
I'm familiar, not just the truth.
Matilda and Thomas Sosa, right by where San Casway house there.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, my uncle had a shop there, and he used to sell long balloons.
Okay.
And from when I was a young child, the balloon fascinated me.
Uh-huh.
And I used to loan the tiger money, go buy them balloon island for blowing. So when he threw the balloon for me, I'll be the happiest man.
Uh-huh.
The guy start blow the balloon right away. The man like, what? When you learn to
You
blow
got the
balloon?
experience already?
Yeah, when you learn to blow balloon, and I tell the man, well, I have never failed when I go into blowing a balloon. And the man said, okay. He said, because you blow that balloon, no good. Hold on, so the next one. And I blow it again. And they stand up out there and they blow like up to 300 balloons per day. Kind of make money off of that.
Uh-huh.
And the man threw 10 balloons and I blow them back to back, just like that. And he me like, wow. Because nobody could blow them balloon. If I may bring it right now, I give you can't blow.
Yeah.
Hard,
can't blow.
it's a technique. You have to use your,
stretch it or something like that, no? And then
you have to use your diaphragm.
Uh-huh.
And you push forward.
Yeah.
All right? Just like when you talk hard, you use that diaphragm for
Yes, like
push
when
out
you
your
go
voice.
to look for your voice. Yes, yeah. You use it, you bring it out from your diaphragm.
Got that
So-
over that. Yeah.
So he right away he said, okay, which one you want to learn? I tell the man I want to learn the dog because I'm fascinated on the
Well,
twisting.
the twisting.
And the man sit down there, the man show me, and then he tie one first, and he say, okay, I want you to loose it out, and then I want you to follow the same pattern on the balloon, right? And I do it, and when I do it, the man say, you're a special person, and I say, what do you mean? He say, you do this fast. Not like, it take me a while to learn it. Sorry. But I've always had that passion to do things like that. And the man say, if you want to learn more, he said, because he no got time, he said, come to this address and he give me one card. Right? But you have to come to the address tomorrow morning. No, my boss the left.
The one we're
In a
supposed to
couple-
go to the border with.
Yes, supposed to left in a couple of hours.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Right? So I gone back to the lady and when I think about it, I gone back to the counter and I tell them, say, if I can't put off the bus for the next one, the lady said, don't purchase. I said, can't. So I left right there now to decide what I want to do.
Whether you would give the importance of going on to the States
Or take
stay
an
and learn this.
and
opportunity.
take the opportunity to learn to be.
Yes, but I make the decision and I decided I was going to stay. So I sleep at the bus terminal at night. And the next morning, I find the address. When I got into a building, overrun building, look run down, you know how the Mexicans have their big doors? Well, we got, well, I mean, a small thing to this big door. Yes, so I got and I knocked on the door. And when I knocked on the door, I saw a man come out. He said, yes. And I tell the man, I have this card. They tell me make I call you. And the man said, oh, are you? And I like, but I don't know you. The man said, me give you the card. I give you the card. But you know when you dress up, you look different.
The clothes look
Yeah.
like different from the person. Yeah.
Man said, come in, man, come in. Well, when the man let me in at the door and I stand up, kind of a hollow building. That's not an official school. It's just a place where everybody go and they share their skills.
Yeah.
So
Like a
this-
courtyard.
This clown teach you how to juggle. That clown teach you how to twist balloon. That clown teach you how to do different things and right wrong. But a big building, everybody do take their own time to teach you their thing. Right? And up to this, if I tell you that I may bring this man to Belize,
You brought him?
I brought him here.
Right.
Chispin. I don't know if you remember, I had one clown festival, or maybe you were too busy at that point, but I brought him here
I remember doing several clown activities.
because my aim at that point,
Chispin sound like a ring a bell.
my aim at this point, when I'm done to the clown and everything, my aim at this point, I'm if I bring 20 clown shoes, 20 clown nose I Belize, and 40 clown shoes.
Okay.
But each one I had to have an owner. So I wanted to bring them clown I Belize.
Okay.
But anyway, let me get back. So when I push open the door, I'm like, wow, this is another Swahili thing. Because all of that run through my mind. I don't want stranger, you know what strange town. This man just give me a card and I
you go in
and I go in there.
the house,
Yeah.
But I tell you, I had this military background, so I never scared.
Yeah.
So when I push open, I say like, okay, I have somewhere where, all right, so I feel comfortable. And I tell you, no lie, Mr. Rennie, I stayed at that place for almost 2 years and 6 months. Not continuously, but I stayed there.
With learning.
Learning how to do my
Everything.
bit of everything. Some of the things like for ride on one wheel bike, they never might go. I clumsy, very clumsy. The semi band, people clumsy people. Trapeze, that never my thing. So I ain't going at that, right? I do things like balloons. I could juggle. I'm not a consistent juggler, but I could juggle. I could juggle up to 4 things. Not perfectly, but I could juggle. Kind of put me interested. My interest was more into balloon. Kind of think about quick money.
Yes.
That's my goal. Kind of go home. Quick money. How to twist balloon? How to do body, how do I call it? Can't remember what. The art of moving your body. To show emotion or to act something out because of what they teach you. Which, by the way, brought me back and now how I learned the acting in movies and stuff. Because I act in a movie too.
We
Oh,
see,
touch that.
you became a movie actor in a different way, no?
Yes.
Not the John Wayne way, but...
And but I did anything that could get me fast money that way I learned, where I started to put my interest in. And then they carry out to, they teach you how to entertain kids, and like they tell you about games, how to hold kids' attention, they teach you about what kid attention span, how much attention they have.
Okay.
Right? They had one doctor there, he was also a clown, but he like I don't know if that's a psychologist you call her, but they teach you anything about children, how children operate, why you must do something for too long because their attention span not last too long and that kind of thing. So you learn that, then you learn how to work for corporate business. Unfortunately, I Belize, I hardly work for corporate business because people I Belize now look for a clown and say you're also a clown. But that states corporate business was a clown now a big thing.
Yeah.
When we come back, Canul continues to share his experiences as Ozzy the Clown. He also told us what attracted him to the medical field. We take a break to hear from our partners.
The B&E Charitable Trust, working in the development of Belize by inspiring young Belizean entrepreneurs to dream and to dream big. The National Gas Company, fueling Belize forward. The National Gas Company makes sure that you not only have a guaranteed supply of gas for every household need, but also that it is of the highest quality always. Shell Belize has been fueling Belize for many, many years, and they have done so reliably and with a lot of dependability. And the Barry stores in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, Orange Walk, and San Pedro, offering you much more for much less. Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
I remember the days when trucks used to line up at the Guatemala border, and we could have only watch as they come in loaded with LPG and then left with we Belizean dollars. Things changed since, because the Belizeans they drive now, that we have the jobs, and are definitely proud to be able to keep me dollars home. Either Elvis Roaches, and either one of the Belizean drivers for the National Gas Company. I haul butane from the new state-of-the-art terminal to the port of Big Creek. The hard work, but at the end of the day, I go home to my family and provide for them. Thanks to NGC, I did do my lead part to build my country. We the all Belizeans on this team, and we're proud to work hard to deliver one product will last longer and give you more value for money. I proud to work at NGC, and for you we Belizean people.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
Shell V-Power with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
It don't matter what part of the jewelry.
So, and then when you're in, right then I tell you, okay, this is the way you call a white face clown, this is the way you call a Trump clown, this is the way you call a goose clown, and you had a European clown, all different type of clown. You have to find your own character, your personnel, who you are, have to fit that clown angle. All right, like you would be a white face clown.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the way you sit on,
but
the way you sit on, and the way you sit on and the way you operate, you'd be a white face clown.
Then I'll paint my face white.
Yeah, you'd be the type of person where we play one music, got a piano front of you, but nobody don't know you to play that music, and you to play like you to play the music. And then somebody will cut it off, and then they realize that you the foolness. So you'd be that person.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So
That, different people have different character. You'd be somebody where they try find a way, so I'm still not sure yet. Ava would be like she'd be one in between. She'd be like one a goose clown where they like play jokes for people and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wanna try fool you.
So you're telling me Ozzy, Javier, Ozzy?
Yeah, you could call me
Yes,
Ozzy. I prefer people call me Ozzy on the street.
Yeah.
Whether do that promotion for me. Boy, Ozzy! And everybody look wrong. See Ozzy there? And they like feel good, you know.
So you're saying that there's a clock in each of us,
In
right?
each of us there is a clock.
There's a clock, right?
We just have to find
It's
it.
just up to us to find it. Because there's a sense of humor that all of us carry.
At school, at
Right.
clown school, they taught us this. Find your clown, love your clown, show your clown. If you can't do that, you can't be one clown.
Yeah.
You can't be one clown because you have to love your clown first. When you love your clown, you want to be the best you can be.
So you spent 2.5 years
Yes, going
studying
back
that.
and forth,
Going back
learning
and
all
forth,
about
learning
clowning
all
and
about
that
that.
stuff.
That's a lot of investment, you know.
And you know what they did to us? Well, the first thing I learned, so I could get money to come back home. The first thing they teach you how to twist balloon, right? And so remember I tell you that I watch them guys and say, when they don't perform show, you got people lined up to buy a balloon. Right, so that's how you make your money. People to give show, and then at the end of the show, you have people line up. You have clowns with sell balloons. So somebody to give a show, and at the end of the show, either the person will start to sell balloon to make money. And while they give for the show, people they tip them off, throw money in one thing, or they go collect. And so when at the end of the day, we pull the money together, and know how we survive as a unit. As a unit. When I think about anything, I try to do anything in Belize, you put a tip bucket, see what happen to you.
Yeah.
People are going to take your money out there. I believe it's unfortunate, but it's true.
Yeah.
You have other clowns that you know about us in Belize?
In Belize, you mean professional clown?
Professional clown.
Yes,
Professional
yes.
clown.
Yeah. I know.
Like you say, there's a clown in all of us, but I'm not the professional.
Yes,
I'm talking
yes.
about the professional.
Let me put it this way. The first clown I ever know about them is Juliet
I
Soberanes.
remember Juliet
It's neat
very
and
well. I remember Juliet.
And then
Soberanes
she
very
passed
well.
away.
Yes.
But I never wanted to be a clown at that point.
At that.
Yes. So
in
when
those years.
I became a clown, everybody think, oh, the captain is neat and clean, but they never know what I gonna do to be a clown. And there's a lot about that. But anyway, afterwards, I came back to Belize and started talking to people about clowning. And then I got a Kayo, promote clowning. Then I noticed some clowns start to raise up the Kayo. Then they had this guy, I don't remember what his clown name is. He come out the Kayo. And now I've just shown me one clown pan the black, don't want to be a clown. I want everybody to know too that I'm willing to teach anybody the art of clowning. That's not a secret. I'm willing for you to learn, but you can't be, and I've done this before, Mr. Rene. Try to teach people the art of clowning, but the first thing they learn at the balloon and they don't come back again. They feel like they're not clown. Just because you twist a balloon, oh, I'm a clown.
Yeah.
And that's why they drop down. They go up a little bit, then you know, sit there again, because that's all I know.
What's the real spirit of a clown? Is there to give a story to edify a person, even though you are doing it in that joking fashion?
Okay, and I'm glad you asked that question, because all of that you have to learn. That for being a clown, your job, and I have to tell you this, is not to humiliate people and to give humor, but to make them laugh.
Yeah.
There are sometimes that you might be a part of the joke, but the joke must not be on anybody but you. All right? So when you deliver when you do a show, the joke must, you not humiliate nobody. Your show must not be dirty. When I said dirty, there's a thin line between that, because I remember going to Placencia and I do one show and I go back to chair. Lady say, you can't come back here again. I love to know I don't go to Placencia. They stop hiring me. Well, that's fine. Different people see things differently of what it really is.
Yeah.
All right? But you have to be able to make people laugh. That is what it's about. And how they used to, for us to do that, they used to carry it at the hospital.
Take it to
Mexico.
the hospital in Mexico City.
Yes. The government hospital, not the private ones. And your job is to go in there and make the sick person smile.
Without paint or...
No, you have to dress.
But you have to dress
You have to
the
dress, yeah.
people.
You have to dress.
Because can you put on a clownish face without really putting on your... Okay.
You can't do that. It's just trick or treat. It's just they teach you all and anything there. Body gestures. That's it. How to do body gestures and that kind of thing, right? So they used to take us to the hospital to do these things, and then that's how you develop yourself. I recall that, and this anyway, I don't want to touch that yet because I got a lot with birth and things, but we could go to that later.
Because we have to go to birth. We definitely have to talk about your life at birth.
To cut the story short, I'm willing to teach anybody who want to learn about clowning. It's just that clowning and they're not just what the last prong on the ladder. When I came back to Belize, this is the point where I want to get back to. Coming back to Belize, I'm ashamed for being a clown. For do the work of a clown. Because, remember, I used to be a corporal in Belize Defense Force. A lot of up-looking person. But one day I remember I stand up, I save you. I could never forget Miss Adita Castillo. I used to go there and sell my balloons, and the security used to chase me off at the compound. And one day I got and I said, Miss Adita, can I speak to you? And she said, sure. And I told her I would love to sell balloon on your compound. And I show her a balloon, and she like, wow, that's awesome. Sure, go ahead. And from that day, I think up to now I could still go there and sell balloon. But that's our part I start to, right there. And I twist balloons and sell balloon, and it was wrong a September celebration. And my mother, I sell balloon, $1 each, I just blow and sell. And my mother said, why? You waste so much time in Mexico City for just to blow balloon, just like that. Twist the balloon there and make your money. Well, that time I need somebody who can drive me. I'm more like my ma. And I started twisting balloons, and I started to sell balloons. And balloons used to different shape, and balloons used to. That time, the first time people said anything there. And people used to start to buy balloons. Well, that time, then afterwards I come out and save you again, because I used to come every Sunday. That time, I try to make money now. And one lady, Miss Anna, from Janissary Place, what's her name?
Belize Global.
Belize Global, Miss Anna.
I know Miss Anna.
Miss Anna come to me and Anna say, sir, would you be interested in doing a party for our airlines? And I'm like, sure. And then I don't know. This is my first party at Belize. The only thing they never teach me in a clown school I hope for charge.
Okay. So you do it for free then?
No, yeah. The lady said, how much you charge me? I tell her $5 an hour. I said, well, why you all day? That's my biggest mistake.
Yes, man, that's kind of cheap, man.
Biggest mistake, because children were on me and I'm so tired that when that day done, I came home $50 and I was so tired. And so I decided I want to sit down and plan out now how to charge.
Yes, how to charge, yes.
Right? I start plan out my own thing and I say, okay, $75 an hour.
Yeah.
An hour.
That's reasonable.
And every year I go back to clown school, right? And I go back there and I ask this question.
You mean the same clown school in
No,
Mexico?
not the clown school. I go to what you call clown convention because I started to attend conventions now because I wanted to meet with other clowns and exchange ideas and that kind of thing. And I put that question to them and then I said, man, they never teach you that. I'm like, no. Right? And then they start telling me, well, $75 an hour is good, but if you do coin every year, you they spend money for coin and you coin for land. So every time you coin, you could add $25. So after that, I end up at $125 an hour. Okay. But then I realized that, you know what? I used to get good. I used to make it good, Mr. Rene. Sometimes 8 parties, not 8. Sometimes up to 5 parties for the day. For the day, right? But then I was also tired, and I realized that, you know what? I cheat people and not getting what they really deserve. I just do it now because I want money. Yes, and I wanted to make this thing dynamic. And eventually, I said, okay. And right now, I've been no lie, I had $300, $350 an hour. No, $350 for 2 hours. That's my cost right now.
That's your cost.
But if I have a travel out district, that you have to add mileage.
The passenger.
And that's why they kill me right now, gas. Because I gas people from outside district. They call me when they hear the cost, they turn it down, right? Because of the gas and the mileage. But I can't go there like that. So I tell them, come for me, and I want, you know. And I know what I'm worth. I know the show that I give. And so I cannot charge you, like, for example, I have doves. I have to feed my doves if I do magic. Right? I have to take care of them. I have to make sure they get their shots. And then they're expensive, so I have to charge, you know, to take care of it. If you want a good show, you have to, I have to charge you for it. And you have to pay for it. But eventually I had clienteles all over Belize, but then I realized that only the rich people or the upper class in Belize were hiring me. And I never liked that. Because I want to share my joy with everybody. All right? And I decided that, you know what, I will bring clowns to Belize. And I approached the guy who gave me the card, who I call my teacher, Chispin, and he said, if you could get us there, we don't mind, we do free shows, as so long as you could feed way, host way, and we do free show all over the country. And so that plan started. And we came. I made even I love FM. I had just been right in here in the same room.
I think we yes.
Yes. Yeah. And we promoted our show, and we did shows in almost all the districts in Belize. But then there was something that was also bothering me, that I was staying away from Niche, and Niche, the National Institute for Culture and History. And so I approached Miss Kim Vasquez one day, and I have to talk about Kim because Kim, actually, I think Kim has actually allowed me to soar. I got to Kim and I say, because I'm going to clown conventions, Mr. Rennie, and I have that video where every year I used to go up on the stage every year in front of hundreds of clowns, if not thousands of clowns, where you have to go up there, write your story. You have to go a beginning, one middle, and one end. And you compete for prizes. And people were there, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, El Salvador, the United States, all the Belizean clown. But when you're there, you have 25 clown from El Salvador, 25 from me. When they say, Belize, yeah, me one. Me one, yes, and I make like 25 on it. Can I carry my pat and pan? I beat that. But anyway, I competed in competitions, in a half a twist balloon. I competed in, and I have prizes for them things. I have pictures for them. And I competed on stage.
Yes.
And when I come back to Belize, I got Kim and I say, Kim, in Mexico, my name is big. Because I compete, and I'm a prize winner, and everybody know me. And I show her my stuff, and then time Mr. Greg Vernon was there. And Mr. Greg told Kim, I think you should do something because I think it's a great idea. And so that's the whole, this is the after Chispin, right? I decided not to work it with niche. I wanted it to go through niche. And that is how we started touring. It was much more better for me, less hustle, never try, like, where you say producer and whatever.
Yeah.
All right? I never had to worry about how to produce, how to do it. If that me do it myself, I have to do everything.
Yeah.
But when you get niche involved, like everything just sat itself. Yeah, they did everything. And we toured all over the country. We do at every major organization when niche owned and stuff like that. And I will tell you that I think that's where my name and fame actually soared up and got to the level where I'm at today. So I could never forget niche. We're actually we want to plan something, but I'm going to keep it back. I'm not going to say Kim yet, but I'm going to have to go see her, right? And that's it.
No, what comes to mind is, have you ever given thought to the creation of a school of your own, a clunging school of your own in Belize?
I've had that.
To pass on this knowledge?
I've had that conversation many times, but to be honest with you, nobody wants to be a clown. I'm telling you. Nobody want to dress up. Nobody want to paint their face for being a clown. Like I said, people at Belize consider being a clown as the last prong on a ladder. Mr. Rene, when I first come to Belize, I get burned with weed, stone. My car, because I make enough money to buy a car, broke my windshield, stone me, push me, anything you could think about, because I don't want clown. People do that to me.
No.
Yes. And I balance that. There's a trick about balancing it. You want to hear the trick?
Yeah, man.
Tell me.
My dream come up. Remember I tell you that I want to be in the medical field too.
Yes.
Man, a lot of things branch off at Ozzy, you know, I tell you.
But before you go there, where the name Ozzy come from?
My middle name is Oswald.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
And I made start for a middle name. I start for a name to call myself Ozzy. I try to find a name.
Yeah.
I have all kind of names, but I don't want to be no blinkers, I don't want to be no jingles, I want to be something original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the nice lady name, but she worked at Central Bank, and we became good friends because I used to sell like clips and stuff. And she told me, try Ozzy. And then I had an uncle who used to call me Ozzyito.
Ozzyito,
Yeah. And that's how the name Ozzy came.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ozzy. And because we have it too, right?
Yeah, well, no, I never thought that not a clone.
Have it
is not a clone.
Have it a song as
No,
like
it's a song clone.
Ozzy for some reason some more clone
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Mr. Rene, but from there I learned a lot of things. Going through niche, Kim Vasquez channeled me into bringing out my body gestures. In doing workshops with different people from Central America, and I excelled in these workshops because I already did it in Mexico City. In fact, no, when I go to Mexico City, I actually hold a workshop for different clones from all over the different world, where I teach them body gestures. And I have to give Kim and Niche thanks for that because they propel me to a further level to do that. No, I also at that point, Sylvana Woods made a look for people for play the first movie when I do. I don't remember. Oh, yes, Sylvana, correct. That's how I came back up to the movie Naked, not Naked. After the Storm.
After the Storm.
With Benjamin Bratt, Armand Asante, Milli Vanilli. I even meet Julia Roberts, Julia Roberts and Benjamin Bratt, my boyfriend and girlfriend. So me and she fly on a plane by myself.
Wow.
Yeah, and that the clowning actually propelled me into the acting phase. So now I see my dream. And I look for that big time now, right?
Yeah.
So I make myself known. In fact, the movie was an hour and a half, and I played 45 minutes on it, where constantly you actually see my face, recognize me. I even had a speaking role, like, oh my God, now a man face like this. Camera zoom in on my face, and I got. And they shot me from back way, so I did like that, right?
Okay.
They kill me, hurry kill me, because they said, take away the star job. Yeah, and then that leads from one thing to another. I met Denver Fairweather was working on that same thing. And he asked me to do commercials for him. And that's where I started doing a Romax commercial. Then time Romax may exist.
Yes.
And then he did the commercial with, I only had 3 beer, that beer commercial. Man, that that came in second in the Caribbean, by the way. The commercial that beat that down was the AIDS commercial. 'Cause AIDS was just to come out at that point. And everybody recognized me from that ad. And then after that, I did well there. Then he asked me to do Naked and Afraid. So I was actually like living my dream where I want to, but I wanted to be this big time. You know, I used to watch Steven Seagal movies, like Chuck Norris movie, like, and all the big time actors, like, man, I want to be like young guys, yeah. But when I realized that, hey, like, I know I make it abroad, because even if you look up for me on Google, after the storm, you will say Juanito, played by Javier Canul. The only thing they don't have that one, my picture, and they don't have like a manager. You have a manager and anything. You have to pay for that and that. So when you pay for that, if somebody like how you act for that movie, then, yo, what up?
Yeah.
And then you get in a movie. Why don't I have money for anything? That's why I never did it. But it is still there. And then after that, I decided that I want to stick to Aussie.
We have much more from Javier Canul after we take this break.
Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
I remember the days when trucks used to line up at the Guatemala border, and we could have only watch as they come in loaded with LPG and then left with we Belizean dollars. Things changed since, because the Belizeans they drive now, that we have the jobs, and are definitely proud to be able to keep my dollars home. Either Elvis Roaches, and either one of the Belizean drivers for the National Gas Company. I haul butane from the new state-of-the-art terminal at the port of Big Creek. The hard work, but at the end of the day, I go home to my family and provide for them. Thanks to NGC, I did do my lead part to build my country. We the all Belizeans on this team, and we're proud to work hard to deliver one product will last longer and give you more value for money. I proud to work at NGC, and for you we Belizean people.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
It don't matter what part of the jewelry.
But you know, if you write a script for your life, the way how you describe it,
Yeah.
and you star in it, right?
Well, that's a good idea, Ava.
You have a movie right
I need a producer. Make a work on it, but I'm telling you, it's another kid wrong, right? And then at one point, I even wanted to do a movie, a clown movie. A clown movie. I had this vision to do a clown movie. A clown become a clown and that kind of thing. But it was only a dream because when I talk to people, the people like, now work. Like I tell you, people look at clowning like at the lowest level. All right? So not for compliment it, but one day, one friend of mine, Dr. John Arana, who I met in the Belize Defense Force, who was a corporal and a medical first responder and a paramedic. Why? We need people to take our course, our EMT course. Like, what? And he like, this and that. And that. Oh, that's a right down my line. And I don't Aussie now.
The emergency medical technician, no?
Yes, but I'm a don't Aussie. And if you nail that down, right?
So you came an EMT after Aussie?
Yes, right.
So, okay.
Don't do all them movies.
Don't come out of BDF long time.
Don't do
go
all
to
them movies
Mexico.
too.
Don't star in movies and everything. And so now you're going to get EMT training.
That's right.
Emergency medical training.
I got another training, and the training was awesome. It was, like I said, at the time I want to move on with. And I did the course. I came in third on the course. Who beat me? Magistrate Patricia Arana. They're not smart people, you know. They say Patricia, but she done me a EMT too, by the way, before she become that.
Okay.
And then who else beat me? Oh, I don't remember who the next person. I remember Patricia worked with us at Burt at that time. And like a couple of months after, they hired me. And like I said, Wesley College propelled me to challenge myself to move forward. I don't want to stay back.
So Bert came after the clowning and everything.
Bert came after.
You already have established clown and everything.
That's right.
When you joined.
In fact, I had a lot of problems. Mr. Wittberg will tell you I had a lot of problems with me. I used to clash with her all the time because of that. We'll talk about that later, right?
You are well known as part of Bert. I mean, you almost once you could have been almost regarded as the face of Bert.
Thank you. I never said that. You say it.
Well, I used to, you know, think what I think.
You have to be careful when you say that thing, because people are get vexed with you too, and it's the truth. Well, anyway, I did the course, I signed up, and like I tell you, Wesley College taught me to challenge myself because of the people who made it wrong me, challenge me all the time. And I did a Bert and I say, you know what? I don't want to just be one EMT. I want to be more than one EMT. I want to go for the paramedic goal. I want to do big things, you know?
Yeah.
And I realized that I could use this to help Ozzy. So people realize that Ozzy another prong and the last prong panelera, right? And then I spend many hours at the hospital. Just when I done my course and I got a birth and I spent many hours at the trial learn. I learned as much as I could learn. The next thing I know, my boss called me. This is like 5 years after. My boss called me, but during the time, she had a lot of conflicts because people called me for the Ozzy. And past Saturdays, and you have your schedule where you have to work.
Yes.
And people call me for the Ozzy, and I know I drop Ozzy, and she tell me, you have to decide which one you want to do. You can't be a clown or an EMT. And I'm like, just work with my boss.
Work with me.
And eventually, she tell me, if you could find your way to deal with that, not me being included, so long as when your shift is covered, no, it's okay with me. So I had to pay people for work for me while I go to Ozzy, which the money was great. I had to make $300.
Yeah.
So I pay somebody why you could work for me for 2 hours, I give $100. Right? So people know what? I had people line up. Everybody want to work, no party this weekend. And so I never interfere with Bert. And I had people, ambitious people, I could recall, I'm going to call him, Mr. Misho Shabat, Malaya. He get me, I done parties for all his kids. One day he called me and told me, sir, I cannot because I'm working today. And he tell me, man, Jose, I understand. He said, but I want to pay you, I could pay the person for you. And I said, sir, I'm committed and I can't do that. I can't. And he said, okay, I respect your opinion and I respect you. I got a lot of respect for the man for that stand-up where I did to him. And but I noticed that the Bert that we part was start to soar because people see me as the EMT and they see me as Bert.
As Bert.
And you just continue to climb the ladder and then people start to respect me. And then from there, even Mrs. Burks, who was my boss at that time, decided that she would hire me to be Ozzy for her kids.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I realized, okay, I got the boss on the rock now, so to speak.
The boss on the Sunday club.
Yeah, the boss on the Sunday club. And then I climb up the ladder, and one day they called me at the office and asked me, how would I like to be the... before that, I work with Mr. Glenn Marflores. He was the educator for Bert, teaching EMT courses and stuff like that. And Glenn had to go to the US and he left. And then they called me at the office and asked me if I would like to be the training coordinator. And I said, what all that entails? And then Ms. Burke told me, you have to teach classes, you have to qualify yourself, and that's not a problem because you've been doing those things. And I'm like, okay. He said, we have this between you and somebody else. And so, we had 2 hours of work, and eventually they called me and said that I'm going to give the post to, and that's how I climb up and become the training coordinator. This is after 5 years working at Bert. So I became a training coordinator, and then Mrs. Burks, I guess, saw potential in me, what I do. And she asked me if I could be like PR coordinator for Bert. What does that include? It includes that you have to go up on TV top of Bert. Anything where Bert needs you
That's
there.
how the side was the face
Anything
of
where
Bert.
you have to do for
There
Bert
you
and
go.
that kind of thing. And then everybody knows who I am. Everybody started respecting me because I'm Aussie. If you hire Aussie for a family there, you know you got Aussie and Americ. If you hire me for your party and somebody get hurt, you got Aussie and Americ.
So everybody feel it because they laugh too hard.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way. I played a game, not that to mention that, I played a game where you have men stand up and I give them this balloon to blow. And I play the music, and once you blow, as you finish blow the balloon, you automatically win the prize. I have people who almost faint way because when they try to blow the balloon, I can't blow it. Right? And then I realized when I started studying, and I was an EMT, I realized that medically, this is a problem because if you have an aneurysm, and you try to blow that balloon, you know what happen, right? You're boss and you're dead. So I stopped playing the game totally. But it was challenging. It was great to play. All right? And so that's how I moved up the rankings, and that's why I game anywhere I go. I remember while ladies say, people started to call for the ambulance. And then I tell Mrs. Burks, but we want Ozicon, we don't want no other medic. And then Mrs. Burks said, but all our medics are trained at the same level, everybody do the same thing, but they don't want to hear that. They want Ozzy. Because when I used to do my work as that, I used to always make sure my patients smile. I want them to smile. I make sure they feel good. And then I go in at the hospital in Belize City. No, you can't go in at the hospital because a lot of rules and regulation. But I guess because of COVID. But I used to go to the hospital, visit every ward in at the hospital, pediatric ward and everything, and make people laugh. And that's how I became. I guess that's how I become well known in the society as a medic. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a medic. Yeah. Javier Oswald Canul, Senior.
Yes, sir.
How many children you end up having, Javier?
I have 6 kids.
6? Okay.
2 girls, 4 boys.
All right.
Yes, I have 2 medical officers, 1 pastor. One of my sons is studying for civil engineer, and well, my daughters are still, they're still young, so they're, yeah.
So let's look at the Javier Canul of today. Ozzy the Clone today. You know,
Ozzy the Clone or Javier Canul?
Javier Canul.
Well, Ozzy the Clone today, you got it's a whole story after that, you know.
Let's do Javier Canul first, and then we'll do Ozzy the Clone, because both exist today.
Yes.
And they both are sitting here in front of me. Right?
That's why I tell her they call undercover. Ozzy they call undercover.
Yeah. So,
you don't catch that joke, Joe?
No, I don't catch it.
I am Ozzy, but I am undercover.
How you mean undercover?
Because I'm a clone.
Okay. Ozzy the Clone?
But you don't know that.
No, you were just here.
You assume. If I paint my face, you know that Ozzy there.
Yeah.
So I am undercover.
But I know you with or without painting. That's you. So for me, as I see you, I know that Ozzy.
That's right.
Say, and I know that Javier is. So, you know.
Okay.
But do the transformation face, man, since you're the camera right now.
Well, Javier.
Javier,
this is Javier. When you meet Ozzy, you know, there's 2 different persons. I just want to stress a little bit on my Bert career. I did 17 years at Bert. I did a lot of studies. I was sent to do a lot of studies in the U.S. I taught in Central American countries as an instructor. I became an instructor for American Heart Association. I was the training center coordinator for Bert, for American Heart Association. So that meant I taught doctors, nurses, police, all different type of people. So I really appreciate what Bert did for me. I could never say anything bad about Bert, none at all.
Okay.
Of course, there's ups and downs, and I will never talk about it, but I will tell you, I benefit.
Once you have more than the downs, you're good.
I benefited a whole lot from Bert. And at that point, I wanted to seek like career or employment. In other words, I thought that I had reached a peak where I wanted to move on. Seeking employment at other places else, and I just decided that I need to move on. I could left it at that.
So move on
So
from
move
birth.
on from birth.
Uh-huh.
And I realized that I had potential to do my own things.
Okay.
And that's when I decided I'm going to form a company called ABC Life Support.
ABC?
Entrepreneurship again. ABC Life Support.
Life support. What does ABC Life Support do?
Okay. A
Where is
stands
it
for
located?
Advanced, Basic, and Cardiac Life Support. So these are trainings that I would offer.
Okay, so advanced, basic, and cardiac life support. And you
yeah.
train.
And I train people in that area
in
because
that
I'm
area.
qualified, yeah.
Uh-huh. But you, do you have provide services like if I want to do a cardiac check and check up on that kind of thing? You don't do that. You just train.
I train. I'm a trainer. I can teach you. I can teach people how to recognize, like doctors, how when somebody comes in a cardiac problem, what to look for, how to treat them, etc., etc. So I say I specialize in that particular area. All right. And so I decided to form my own company. It's called a trading company. And plus, I had a vision that I don't think that enough was being done in that area. And I decided that with my knowledge and my scope, and even though I had talked about these things to get done, they were never like looked at like really come with. And so now that I'm on my own, I decided to implement it. And I've noticed I've gotten great results far and wide. The only thing is that, since I walked away from birth, there is a lot of competition and a lot of, should I say it? No, I don't want to say it, because like I said, I don't want to talk bad about birth, but there's a lot of animosity circling me. And people had tried many things to kill me out. And realizing who I was, I met all challenges and rise up to meet the bar. And I went out and I went to companies promoting myself, and so I started getting businesses and teaching for big companies, which I will not call their names, for different reasons. And people recognize that, hey, this guy is good at what he does, and so that's how this company, ABC Life Support, started. I'm an advocate, for example, as an EMT with paramedic training. I think that every man who drives a taxi is supposed to be a basic first aider. Everybody working at Love FM is supposed to be a basic first aider. Everybody who works at Brody's is supposed to be a basic first aider. Wherever you work, because if you drop down here, who will help you? And I know why you go take the course. If you go take the course, when you come back, you have to teach Ava. You know why? Because if you drop down, who will save you? But if you teach Ava, Ava could save you. But if you take the course, you could save anybody, but when it's your turn, nobody could save you. So I believe that everybody, wherever you work, is the first link in the chain to survival. There's a guy who dropped down the Brody's a couple years ago. He died right there. The lady who dropped down in the bank. Nobody never know where to do. Recently, nobody don't know where to do. And that I see that as a vision. My vision, I wish I can do it to train everybody in a Belize City, even if the only Belize City, about basic first aid. Of course, I have a business, so you have to pay for so many things.
Yeah.
I don't mind give you some, but you have to pay for some. You know.
Give me an idea about cost.
You want to talk about cost on the radio?
Give me an
Okay.
idea.
Okay. Basically, I charge anywhere within $45 to $55 per person.
Okay.
And if you come in our group, more than 12, you get discount.
Okay.
And there are different prices for different, like you do basic first aid, that's a price. You do advanced first aid, that's a different price. You do medical first responder, that's a different price. Because you move up the stages, it becomes a little more time-consuming and challenging.
That's a reasonable
to qualify
cost.
you, yeah.
Javier, that's reasonable.
Yeah, and I try, and I have a lot of people who teach these type of things. I don't want to talk bad about nobody either, but a lot of people teach this type of thing, and I always tell people, you could know something, but that does not make you qualified to teach it.
That is so.
That's why everybody knows a teacher.
That is so.
So you having all the knowledge does not qualify you to teach it. You have to know how to teach it. And then everybody could disseminate information. And I think God has blessed me with that talent, being the clown, because that had helped me to meet people and know people. If I were to talk to you, Mr. Rene, about, what we call the thing in your head again?
Brain?
No. The thought also for me. The chafe in the vein. What call it? Anyway, if something chafe in your brain, I boss, so you call it?
Aneurysm.
Aneurysm. You see, and when I teach you, and that's why I don't remember the word right away. Because if I teach you about aneurysm, I'm not call it aneurysm. I'm going to call it what chafe on the vein. Why? Because I want you to understand. If I say aneurysm, you understand what aneurysm is.
Right away, I get aneurysm.
But you don't understand. No. So if I say chafe in the vein, that allow you. So I don't want down to earth. That's the way Ozzy teach me. Ozzy teach me that when you do presentation, it must be clear. It must be loud. It must be as an order, and it must be with pauses. You follow that, and you could teach any classroom.
Okay. So Javier is...
That's a Javier.
Javier. Now, so Javier is Javier the teacher or the EMT teacher?
Teacher, yes.
Right.
Instructor,
no, instructor.
Yeah. Or
right?
facilitator. Yeah.
And so
I like the word facilitator.
And Ozzy, what is Ozzy doing?
Wow. Ozzy will look at you, and right now I don't see some of your gestures. So if I want to tease, if I want to talk about René Villanueva, I could, without talk about René Villanueva, I could do it.
I'll do it. Do it.
Well, I know one thing about you. This is Love FM. I try to bring out the hard voice. Or I'll bring out the voice like, her. You like?
Yeah.
So I could talk about you.
This is love.
I could talk about you to her. If I say, she know where to say.
Yeah.
But I put it in that manner where she would understand.
Because sometimes we do these gestures without even realizing that's what we do. You know,
Yeah, that is true.
Your body movement tells a story.
Tell the whole story.
Your body movement tells a story.
So you're good at that.
That's right. Yeah.
So Ozzy is still active, right? Because I see you sometime in Dongtong, like at Dongtong.
Okay,
I met
so
you
when
in
you
Dongtong
meet
Plaza
me,
last week.
if you meet me in Dongtong Plaza, that's where I spend a lot of my spare time to promote Ozzy. I do balloons in Dongtong Plaza, so people come from all walks of life, and for some reason they hit Dongtong Plaza. And when they come and get a balloon, people ask me for my number, you get Ozzy number. People ask me for about first aid courses, they get my number. So people know where to look for me when they want. When they not see me down there, well, you met last week, we got about 5 people look for you down here. All right? But you can also find me on Facebook. If my number is no secret.
Well, you want to promote it. Take the advantage.
You think I should promote it?
It's up to you.
I think that's where to do it right now. I mean, don't give me life story. That's the promotion. Okay, just so you know, if you want to meet Javier, if you want to meet Ozzy, you want to do some kind of training, you could call 628-7999. That's something you know I regret. Guaranteed.
Anything you want to ask Ozzy or Javier?
Well, I had a question in terms of how clowning help you to express yourself and be who you are. I mean, like in terms of talking to people and being outgoing, how clowning helps with that.
How clowning? Oh, well, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, first when I started clown myself, I was a very shy, timid person because being a corporal, big time in that BDF and that kind of thing, I'm like, but when people realize who I am, it just gave me, I could go anyway and I don't care who they in there, I want to light up the room.
Yeah.
I go to Belize Bank and lately, it happened though. But if I go to Belize Bank, I don't tell one person, good morning, everybody!
Yeah.
And everybody, what? I said, and I tell them, morning, yeah, morning. And then they answer me back and so. So that's me. That's the type of person I am. I'm very confident about myself in everything that I do, especially my specialties, which is cloning and being able to facilitate a learning process with ABC Life Support.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, and that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
You sure?
If
you think about anything else, you can holler at me.
No, we work with our clock, you see, and sometimes I look across at the time and I say, where did it go?
Yes.
But certainly it has passed, or it's almost there.
I work with a clock too. In an EMS, if I train somebody, or rather if I treat somebody, that's the word. If I treat somebody, I got 10 minutes to take care of you and save your life.
Yeah.
If 10 minutes pass me, that's because I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And when I work as Ozzy, I have 2 hours to give you the best show of your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I work with a clock.
Yeah.
In a ABC Life Support, just so you guys know, I do basic first aid, advanced first aid. I'm a medic for hire. So if you a need for go, somebody come from the States or a relative come and they need one medic for go with them camping, or they need for do one movie shoot somewhere, I go with you. I go camping with you. I help people. I'm not a, I used to provide home care provider services, but no, I facilitate that process for you. So if you say, Ozzy, I need somebody to look after my mom, you could help me with that. I will facilitate that process for you. So you could call me at the same number, 628-7999.
Okay.
Yep.
And with that, we gotta say thank you.
No, me not ready for go yet.
You know what I'm saying?
No, just a joke.
Make you stay longer.
No, man, you are the boss, man. You are the boss. You are the boss.
Second show.
I just want to say something to the audience. I hope that my story inspires you, because it's a true story. And I think that if I have a dream and I live my dream, I could tell you right now, I don't think I work one day in my life once I started to do clowning and started to teach as a paramedic. I don't regret it. I enjoy doing it. And when I do home, sometimes I don't have a job, that then I decide, that then I feel like I work because I don't have nothing to do. So follow your dream, because that's the way I put you where you want to go. No give up. Times will be hard, but don't give up. Hard, like when COVID come, knock down ABC life support, knock down Ozzy, I guess like for most people. Carry out my savings. But guess what? Thank God it's open again. Follow your dreams and never give up. That's the message from Ozzy. Always keep a smile on your face. And guess what? Keep a song in your heart. Peace out.
What a wonderful way to close out our show today with Ozzy.
That's right.
Ozzy the Clown.
That's right.
Right? And Javier Oswald Canul Sr.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
2 in 1.
I just want to say one more thing. I see
Yeah,
that's
go
why I'm
ahead,
not ready
go
for
ahead,
going.
go ahead.
What I wanted the public to know, because this is important. ABC Life Support has 3 doctors behind it, right? I am the face of the company and I'm the lead instructor.
Okay.
There is Miss Andrea Jacob, who is the second instructor. There is the 2 doctors, which are my sons, Javier Canul and Joshua Canul. They sit and make sure that I provide proper materials to the audience. And I have Dr. Hidalgo, Jorge Hidalgo, who I consider one of the best doctors in this country. If you know Dr. Hidalgo, travel vast and wide every minute. They do stuff for critical care. He sits and he monitors everything that I do. And before I give out a certificate to you, he reviews those test papers. And he makes sure that I'm not giving away anything. And he makes sure it reaches his standards. Wow. So we have people behind we that are coming with force. All right? So ABC Life Support is a force to reckon with. Yep.
Very good. Right. Congratulations for your entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to thank Kyle for being here with me too.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed this show. I enjoyed talking to you and learning more about clowning and your medical background. So I definitely have a different outlook on clowning, and yes, I was very inspired by your conversation.
So you'll be a clown. Okay.
See, Grandpa, don't run about this.
See, do your thing.
But, you know, this is in keeping with the theme of our show, Javier, which is knowledge of the past. I mean, we shared your past.
Thank you.
You know, and who establishing who you are, you know, impacting the present, who you are today, because your past makes you who you are today, but it also enables you to plan to the future, you know.
It's always a pleasure to do things like this. If I could be an inspiration to somebody, that's what I want to do. That's
there you go.
Success consists of getting up one more time than you fall.
Exactly.
Never stay down there, right?
That's true. That's true.
Right?
That's true.
You fall down 100 times, you get up 101 times.
That's right.
Oh.
Yep.
Right? And you keep on going.
Yep.
And so, thank you so much, Javier.
Anytime. Feel free to call me back
wherever
again, maybe
folks
10
are,
years from now.
No, man, we'll call you back very soon, because
Yes, very, very
what we
soon.
want to do, and I would hope we could do this in our next show, is to really feature Ozzy the Clown in action.
Wow!
Right? So you sit down and let's make you do a thing.
Yep. That would be a great idea, but I think you'd have to have a camera follow me, because doing a show for a television is different from being the real Ozzy.
All right.
So to do that is a different story, yeah.
We'll work on that.
Let's do a live thing, Ozzy. This is a thing for you.
Yes.
Follow Ozzy.
The live Ozzy.
The live Ozzy.
All right. So thanks for choosing love, Belize and beyond. We got.
We got.
All right.
You tell me you like so if we go to 4 o'clock?
Yes, I still have time.
12 to 4.
Okay.
Belize Watch. Knowledge of the past, impacting the present, building the future.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You that you